Before the Mafex Batman comes out and blows all of these out of the water, I wanted to talk about my top 10 favorite Batman toys, period. Childhood stuff, collector stuff, you name it. These are my top 10 Batman figures. Lego does not count because Lego's not really like... It's like a building toy. It's not really an action figure. So I didn't count Lego Batman, but I do love Lego Batman. These are my top 10 Batman action figures that I really, really like. Some notable exclusions. There's some variants from The Batman and Batman Begins that I really liked. And no Batman Beyond. No Terry McGinnis. It has to be Bruce Wayne Batman. So... let's just kick it off with number 10. That is, gotta love this stuff. The Michael Keaton Batman line from, I believe this was for Batman Returns, the second movie. I think these figures are for Batman Returns. And pretty much any of them. The black one, the gold one, the white one, and the blue one were the ones I had growing up. And the white one was probably my favorite. I loved the blue one, but I also loved the white one. He had this big helmet. I do have it somewhere. I didn't feel like digging it out. But... these Batman figures, number one, they capture the likeness of Michael Keaton so well. They're definitely more based on Michael Keaton's appearance in just Batman instead of Batman Returns. But you can see he's got the nice gold logo. He has a nice cowl. Definitely looks like Michael Keaton. He has a nice cape, too. I really like how the cape clips on. The costume just looks really nice. I mean, it's not exactly faithful to the movie. But, I mean, you can see the boots right there, nice and detailed. And I love the white, too. It's kind of like a Mr. Freeze one. I feel like you would fight Mr. Freeze with the white bat suit on. But, yeah, I could not put this on the list. I love the original Batman Returns line so much. It was one of my favorites growing up. But next up, number 9, is actually a very recent Batman, and it is from DC Collectibles. That is the Batman from the Batman Ninja Turtle crossover. He's a little tall, so let's get the camera up just a little bit, just a wee bit, yes. Whoop, just a wee bit, just a wee bit, just a wee little bit, a little up, yes. Boom, there we go. Yep, the Batman Ninja Turtle Batman. He's so low because he's not very articulated. He just looks really great. I mean, you like, his elbows aren't bad, and he's not bad. He's just not great. He looks kind of awkward under the cape, so that's why he is a glorious animated looking Batman to have completely shrouded in his cape. I personally have him standing over my Ninja Turtle sewer lair, because my turtle stuff and Batman stuff is kind of displayed close together, so it works. But yeah, he's number 9 because he just looks so great. And also he's Dark Blue Batman, which is my favorite version of Batman. Is he the only? I think he's the only dark blue Batman on this list. He's the only dark blue. But the Mafex Hush Batman coming out, oh my gosh, that will be my number 1. Just spoiler alert, that will be my number 1 when it comes out. Number 8 then is an Arkham entry, and that is my repainted, because the paint wasn't great on the stomach, and I probably need to repaint that someday, but it's not too big of a deal. I really love the Asylum Armored Batman. I was thinking the kind of under-articulated Arkham Batman figure is one of my favorites. Like, I like the Arkham Asylum one, I like the city versions. But my favorite's probably just the armored one, because I love the armored Batman look from Asylum. I wish it was a look that we had gotten more in-universe instead of just kind of in the challenge maps. But you know what? I dig it. I really dig the look of the figure. I like the blue that the Asylum Batman stuff had. And I'd like to get the Play Arts Kai version of the armored Batman someday. Maybe if I get that, it will probably replace this on the list. But for now, he is my number 8. I really do like the Asylum Armored Batman. And I pretty much have every Arkham Batman. Just for the record, I pretty much have every Arkham Batman. Next up then, number 7 is actually a newer one I just got. And, man, the Young Justice Batman from Mattel is so good. I love the gunmetal gray that they use for the Batsuit on this guy. He's very pale. He's a very pale Batman. But I love the kind of gunmetal gray with the metal flakes in there. I love the look of the belt, the two-tone belt. He's a classic black and dark gray Batman. And he has the black underwear. I personally hate when Batman doesn't have, like, the black on the crotch. I don't like it. He looks so much better with that color separation. I don't see why people think it looks lame. I think it looks great. I don't see the problem with it. I really don't. So yeah, there is Young Justice Batman. Pretty articulated. Looks great. The sculpt is great. I never watched Young Justice. I'm just a Batman fan, and I really like the look of this figure enough to actually get it. And hey, once I got it, it was one of my favorites. So yeah, he is number 7. And then number 6, before we go into the top 5, is the other Arkham Batman that will be in the list. My least favorite Arkham game, but my favorite Arkham Batman figure, Arkham Knight Batman. So this figure is just objectively good, right? Look at the carbon fiber detail on the shoulders there. He just looks really great. He doesn't have the underwear, which does, like, he looks really kind of interestingly colored. Like, there's just a lot of light gray in the middle, and there's dark black and gray on the, I don't know, it just looks kind of odd. But he is so poseable, and he looks so great. I didn't mind the design of the Batsuit for Arkham Knight. I just didn't, the story didn't engage me. I didn't like the ending. It had the most predictable, awful twist of all time. The Arkham Knight's identity is just, oop. Oh, phew, I thought it broke. The Arkham Knight's identity is such a waste. Should have been a descendant of Amadeus Arkham, who was like, hey, man, Bruce, freaking Batman, he's ruining my great-grandfather, whoever's reputation. I'm going to use the funds from Amadeus Arkham that he gave me and have an army to stop him because he's ruining the reputation of Arkham. No, just Red Hood, but different name. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alrighty, next up, number 5. And then next up, we're going to see a lot of doubles. Number 5. Some people may be surprised it's not my absolute favorite, but let me explain. I like the DC Superheroes Select Sculpt Batman. I do. I really do like it. But here's my problems. Number 1, the gray is too dark and the blue is too light. It just either darken the blue or lighten the gray. But I don't really like the colors too awful much. I do like the belt, but it looks very big and bulbous sometimes. I don't mind the proportions, but because of that big belt, you can't get his legs moving too forward. It's not bad. His mask, his cowl, is definitely... It's pretty much looking like the cowl that we're going to see in the new movie, where it really goes far back. You can see, it pretty much looks like the new cowl, like if you saw the pictures. It's definitely a far back cowl. You look at this, it goes pretty much to the ear. Then you look at Young Justice, it barely goes past the eyes there. So you can definitely see, you can tell, like, you don't see any of the cowl on the sides of the face. And I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like the look of the face too much either. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the look of the face. It's not bad, but it's not great either. But then again, those are all nitpicks. I actually really love this figure, and those things are not like things that make me hate it or anything. I'm not dissing it. I'm just explaining why I don't like it more than some other Batmans. He is my 5th favorite Batman action figure, so yeah, he's one of my favorites. Don't act like I'm hating him. I just needed to explain why he's so low. Then, some people may be a little upset that these guys ranked higher. I thought about which one to put, and then I'm like, nah, they're similar enough. I'm just going to put them together. Number 4 goes to the Movie Masters Batman figures. These are really underrated, man. I have the Batman Begins Ghoul Batman and the Dark Knight, kind of like the growling, came in the 3-pack. The Dark Knight kind of grimacing Batman. So, these are just really good, right? Look at the Ghoul Batman. This is a pretty rare Batman to come by, but that head sculpt is so great. You can tell that's Ghoul Batman from Batman Begins. It just looks really great. I love it. The paint's really nice. The figure itself's really poseable, too. Like, the Movie Masters line is great. It is actually, fun fact, the Batman Movie Masters line, Dark Knight Movie Masters, I should say, is the only toy line I have 100% completed. It's not a big toy line, but hey, I have everything, so that's a plus. Look at that face, though. That looks so much like Christian Bale. That looks more like Christian Bale than a lot of other Batman toys. I really love that face. You can just see him like, whoa, blah, blah. Like, it looks like Batman. And the articulation's pretty good. One thing about this particular version, he has a cloth cape, and it's horrible. It is a horrible, horrible cape. I've thought about replacing him someday, but I don't really do I don't like permanently customizing a figure, but with that being said, though, this guy with a cape like that guy would be amazing. So yeah, I don't have any of the import Dark Knight Batmans, but you know what? I love the Movie Masters ones, and we need to give them some love, especially since every other company on the world's making Christian Bale Batman right now. Alrighty, number 3 Number 3 goes to another childhood one, and that is the original animated series Batman. I don't like the new DC Collectibles version too awful much, but this is just such a classic figure for me. I grew up with the blue one on the right. It is a repaint of the one on the left, which is the Combat Belt Batman, which I do proudly own the Combat Belt Batman. No combat belt at all, though, but hey, I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I love the blue. It's such a nice... I mean, figures like this is why blue is my favorite color, okay? Look at that blue. It is so blue. I love it. And the black bat symbol right there, oh, I love it. I love the capes, just like the Batman Returns ones, same kind of style of capes. I can't believe I actually got him with the cape. No combat belt, but he had the cape. That's crazy. But yeah, I love this mold. I love this figure. I prefer the paint of the eyes on that one, but I still kind of like them both. It's so simple, right? It's just 5 POA, but it's Batman. This is animated Batman. I can hear Kevin Conroy's voice coming out of that action figure, and I love it. Number 2, then. Ah, man, I don't... this is kind of difficult. Ooh. I think I'm going to keep with what I have right now. It may change. Number 2, I'm going to give to the now pretty expensive, but hey, I got it when it came out, Michael Keaton NECA Batman. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. So yeah, what is there to say about this that hasn't been said? Perfect likeness to Michael Keaton. This is the Batman that everyone knows and loves from the classic movie that everyone watched as a kid because it's freaking Batman. Soundtrack was glorious. The atmosphere was great. Tim Burton absolutely killed it. It's kind of funny, though, the cape, the hole is actually kind of big. Isn't that funny? It's kind of big, and you have to kind of like tuck it under the cowl. It's funny. I mean, look at the detail on the cowl. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And you can't actually turn the head. Unlike the actual costume, you can turn the head. You can get it moving a little bit. But yeah, it is a NECA figure, so I'd be careful. He has survived some shelf dives, though. He has survived. But yeah, because he is a NECA figure, he's 7-inch scale, he's more expensive. But it's Michael Keaton Batman. This looks so much better than the figure art. The figure art doesn't look like Michael Keaton at all. That is Michael Keaton right there. Like, there's one of my favorite shots in the movie. I think he's looking up at a helicopter. Batman's just kind of looking up, and he gets this slight growl on his face, this slight grimace. One of my favorite shots in the original '89 movie. And I feel like this toy just captures it so well. Definitely, if not my number 1, definitely my number 2. But my number 1, I'm kind of stuck on these guys right now. I have 4 versions of the mold. I'm just going to show off my 2 favorite. I have the Super Friends, the black and gray, but my 2 favorite are the Michael Keaton Homage Black and the Sinestro Corps. Just the DCUC Batman. I feel like why are people not talking about the DCUC Batman? I feel like the DCUC Batman is a great body. He's buff, he's big. I love how the cape just slightly goes over the shoulders. Like you can see it adds a nice silhouette. But see that one there, it doesn't go over the shoulders at all on the Select sculpt. So it kind of messes with the silhouette a bit, doesn't make him look as intimidating. I love the head sculpt on the DCUC Batman. That is generic Batman. Because see, DCUC is striving for the most generic, good Batman you can get. And there we go. Look at that. If that's not one of the best you can get, I don't know what is. I love the DCUC Batman. I love the battering. I love the look. The articulation's pretty nice. We would be nicer with a cloth cape. I don't really like plastic capes too much, but you know what? It is what it is. And the Sinestro Corps. I love the yellow on it. I love the construct being a batarang. It just looks great, man. It looks absolutely fantastic. The paint is crisp. I like the head sculpt, even though I think it's actually a reuse from a Select Sculpt kind of DC superheroes version. It's actually not new for the Sinestro Corps, but I love it. I don't even like Green Lantern. I mean, Green Lantern's cool, right? But I'm not a Green Lantern fan. I'm not a fan of the universe. But I know Green Lantern. I know Yellow Lanterns. I know their whole backstory and everything. And I think Batman being a Yellow Lantern is really cool. And yeah, I do kind of know like what happens in the comics and everything. I've kind of been binging some like Batman lore videos lately. So I feel a little more familiar with the comic book adaptations of the character. Alrighty, there we go. There's my top 10 Batman action figures from my childhood, from my collecting years. I think this is my top 10. I really love Batman. He is probably my second favorite superhero. I mean, I also really love Nightwing too. He's like Nightwing and Batman. It's like Nightwing, Batman. It's like I love them both so much. But Batman definitely one of my favorites. Iron Man's my absolute favorite, but Batman is up there, and I love these figures. And let me know what your top 10 Batman action figures are down in the description below. I would love to hear differing opinions, but please don't diss mine. These are my favorites. I have my own reasons. Leave me alone. Alrighty, guys. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I think I already said that already. Have a good one.